Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Octavian. It is nice to see you all because I am looking at you right now. That aside, however, this is another episode of Duocasts, episode 8, I believe. And with me today, I do have Munch from all the way across the pond in the United Kingdom.
Hello, how's it going?
It's going quite well. Yourself?
I am excellent, thank you. I'm excited to be on your channel with your hundreds of subscribers. I'm very jealous.
All hundreds of them. You know I am the real big time here. We've got blue team setting up 5-man in the tri-brush up on the top side in a challenger level European West replay, because I figured going over to Europe West for the replay, going over to Europe West for the Duocaster, it seemed appropriate.
Yeah, and we see both teams grouping as 5 and heading into the enemy jungles, and nothing actually going to come of it, as we see the blue team just looking for someone and not finding anyone at all. And I would expect them to... I'll be surprised if they stay and try and steal this red buff. I would expect them to just leave again. They are going to throw that ward out and just head back again. And same on the other side of the... On the other side of the world, I was going to say, on the other side of the rift as well, as we see the red team just backing away.
And it returns to a fairly quiet level 1, despite the attempts at group roving from both sides. White Knight and Perks going to be starting themselves off at the Gromp camp. Nothing too unusual there. And on the other side, Gilius is hanging around near the red buff, and just a few seconds till it spawns, so it looks like he is going to be starting there.
Certainly will, and we see him just going to be kicking that one off. Gilius starting away with his red buff, allowing his bottom lane to pick up those Gromps early, and that's going to mean that they have that early level 2, and we see at the other side as well, Perks and White Knight going to be starting off with the Gromp. I actually said Gromp instead of Krugs there, but you get the idea either way. Both AD carries and supports going to be hitting that level 2 early and having a relatively even start to the lane.
And I really like that kind of start for both of these bottom lane duos. Both Jinx, Braum, and Lucian Thresh can handle either the Krugs or the Gromp really, really well and stay on a decently high health bar while doing so. So this is going to be a competitive lane here as they both hit level 2 just a little bit after one another.
Yeah, and Kamani just going to be so much of a pain with that Unbreakable. Once you've hit sort of level 2, level 3 on Braum, it's just so hard to land any harass on the enemy AD carry, because every single time you try, Braum is just going to jump straight into a way, throw up his massive shield, and just block any incoming damage. He's able to just tank so much of it.
Another lane that I did want to keep an eye on was up on the top of the map. So the camera's still hanging around near the bottom, but we can talk about whatever we want. The camera is not our master. And, actually, the Q lands from Braum. White Knight takes a little bit of harass. And this Aatrox versus Vladimir lane is one that I hold particularly dear to my heart, since I did like to fancy that I mained Aatrox for a little while, a few months back. And he's a very fun champion, but this matchup can be quite difficult if played wrong.
It certainly can, and Aaron going very aggressive at level 3 does have his Bloodwell passive available. Krumiel is going to be able to pop that very early though, may be able to go for a kill. Tides of Blood going to go across, he's just waiting for his Transfuse, might be able to look for the kill, does flash forward, so there's Tides of Blood and Transfuse for first blood.
And that is going to be devastating for Aaron. This matchup is so swingy, as many Vladimir matchups are, because he is just so good at bullying a lane. Ooh, the body slam gets pulled away from.
Yeah, Sanguine Pool, just such a good ability.
And you know, I think we've talked about every lane except for the Frog and Anivia lane in the mid lane.
Absolutely.
I was so excited in seeing this on the replay.
Yeah.
You're from Europe West. You know how I feel.
I know exactly how you feel. The old CLG EU days of Frog and Anivia doesn't play it too often anymore, but we're going to have the joys of seeing him play that this game. I would expect him to put up a pretty incredible score on that one. And as well, one little thing I'm really excited about is we see Chewed playing his Jinx. Now, Chewed is an AD carry from the UK, which, if you can't tell by my accent, is where I'm from.
Really? I thought you were French.
I know. It's shocking, but he's pretty renowned for his Jinx within the UK, so I'm excited to see this one. But White Knight is looking for the engage, does manage to get the flash flight onto Chewed. The Ignite is ticking away. Kamani's unbreakable,
Nice
it's on cooldown, and Chewed should be going down. The Pacing Light going to pick him up. And just as I mentioned how good Chewed is, he gets taken down.
Caster's curse right there. Don't ever mention anything that might happen in the game where the exact opposite will indeed occur.
Yeah. Yeah, and Chewed Up is just going to feed this game and completely lose.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not for his sake. Let's keep it an interesting, even game. Perk's just shooting at that shield. And shooting at that Braum backside because Kanani does not care enough to even turn around to face his foes.
No, he's going to be happy to just tank that one up. So long as he can just freeze it long enough for Chewed Up to get there and get at least the experience, if not the CS, then he's going to be happy with his job, and he's going to be wanting to head back to base relatively shortly anyway, I would expect. So he's done his job well, but Kamani could be in trouble right now as White Knight lands yet another hook. That's going to be the last auto attack coming through from Perks, and Chewed Up not going to be able to protect his support in that scenario.
That Thresh play has been pretty gorgeous so far this game. We've seen hook after hook connect. All of them at pivotal moments as Aaron is getting bullied away here by the Vladimir, despite the fact that he does have a little bit of a CS lead. Credit to this Aatrox. He's been able to stay in the game despite giving up that early kill.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, White Knight is relatively renowned anyway within European solo queue. He's been seen on a lot of players' streams doing crazy plays. I think he had a Reddit montage at some point, but really strong Thresh player, always landing those hooks and just pulling out the plays that you just don't. Is one of those players that you see the play happen and you just didn't even think that was possible in that scenario.
Well, that's always a good accolade to have, being known as the guy who can make the impossible happen.
Makes the impossible possible.
You've made me all the more interested in watching this Thresh play that I was already enjoying. Aaron going in, there's the ulti burnt.
Yeah, Cruemel could be in a bit of trouble. Bloodwell is not... Is it on cooldown? I'm not even sure. That Aaron has to back away from that one, but Obvious is heading up towards this top lane. He's looking for the dive onto this Aatrox, and I've double-checked. The Bloodwell is about to come off cooldown. If they can get him in the next few seconds, they are going to be able to pick up the kill, but
it'll be real
they
dangerous.
Seem to know Sejuani is there, and he's just going to be heading straight away from that one.
Yeah, and the Bloodwell is back up, but even with that resource there, Aaron does not want to stick around. Obvious was a little bit low, but that's a level 7 Vladimir, and he'll be providing a good amount of damage. And be able to remove the turret aggro whenever he feels like it by pressing the W key. So, very adept at going for those sorts of dives. Good choice to back off there.
Yeah, certainly was. And I mean, as you say, even with the Bloodwell, if they're able to dive you, they're able to wait a couple of seconds and finish off the 200 health that you're going to respawn with this early in the game. So it's not the greatest of tools until later on, where it really becomes pretty much a Guardian's Angel rather than just coming back on about 100 HP. So much better when you have teammates nearby. But we see, the Death Sentence just falling shy of Chewed Up there. Does manage to land the Flay, but he could be in a bit of trouble. The Flame Chopper's not quite going to connect as the teleport comes down from Cruemel. I think I'm saying that right, but Chewed Up taking a lot of damage from that culling. Perk's going so aggressive, flashing forwards. Does manage to pick up the kill, but he goes down to the tower as well, as we see the blue team picking up 2 kills here. Tides of Blood are going to pick up yet another kill though, but Gilius managing to land this knock-up. Thaldrun should be able to finish this one off relatively comfortably. He's just looking for that Arcanio Pulse. Last auto attack comes through, picks himself up a kill. Froggen looking for a counter kill, but he's just not going to find it with Gilius there.
Yeah, a little bit too late to the party. Obvious is up here and might actually be able to get the kill on here. If there's any damage that comes from Aaron onto the Sejuani, the tower will show up.
Yeah, the ultimate is going to be available for Obvious as well, so should be able to pick this one up pretty comfortably. He's not even going to have to use that. Actually, I completely lied. The ultimate wasn't available, but it didn't matter. Didn't matter. Able to pick up that solo kill in the top lane, and just another one of the reasons why Sejuani is so powerful. Just the damage that you get without building any damage is crazy.
Was able to trade his life for a turret, so Aaron at least pulled something out of that trade. At this point in the game, though, that turret was already fairly low. He'd been able to bully it down a little bit, and he could have taken it at some other point later on in the game more safely without having to give up that kill. So I really don't think that the trade was necessary. Perhaps worth it, you could argue, but I don't think necessary.
Yeah, I think his thought process there was that because there was so much going on in the bottom lane, I think he thought that the jungler must be there and just went for the push. Didn't have any vision, and then by the time Obvious was there, Aaron was like, well, I'm dying anyway. May as well just try and take this tower before I go.
This bottom lane is starting to fall pretty heavily against Chewed Up. Perks has managed to pull ahead by 10 CS or more. and has a BF sword up over the pickaxe that his opponent is currently wielding. Aaron is going in once again. This guy's aggressive.
Yeah, Sanguine Pool used very, very early. This is really good for Aaron. He doesn't have his ultimate, unfortunately, so not quite going to be able to get the kill this early on. Going to be able to sustain off these minions, though, before he goes back in for the next part of the fight. He's just waiting for the cooldown of his ultimate, and it's available now. Sanguine Pool is going to be back up again as well, though, but the slow comes down. This is going to be the kill. Aaron finally picks up that 1v1, but he's been looking for all game, basically, so far.
Very, very, very well played. It was just a matter of balancing cooldowns. Perhaps he should have actually waited a little bit longer to go in, but he saved the ult after getting next to him because he knew the Sanguine Pool was going to come up to try and block that extra magic damage. And whoa, there's the fissure. Just kind of burned a little prematurely.
Oh, Thaldrun in a lot of trouble in this minion lane. Actually, Gilius has arrived, though. Froggen could be the one in trouble in the end as the ultimate comes out from Obvious. Thaldrun in so much trouble. The Flail of the Northwinds is going to be enough as Obvious flashes forwards. Now Froggen looking to try and pick up the second kill of the fight onto Gilius. He uses the Flash Body Slam actually to take down Froggen into his egg form. Eggnivia is going to be able to survive this one, though, as Gilius just being bullied away by Obvious.
Gilius basically trading his flash right there for the egg passive from Froggen. The cooldowns are roughly equivalent, so in the end, I don't think that was worth it for Gilius. He went a bit too over-aggressive onto Froggen's Anivia while the egg was still up, unless he's planning on investing some time very soon in that lane.
Yeah, I feel like that has to come out right now, but Kanani could be in trouble in this bottom lane, has to jump to his teammate right there. Chewed Up going to be able to save him just by getting in range. And Froggen actually heading down. He's maybe looking to try and clean this one up. I don't think he'll get there in time. Just back away from that one. Red team could go for the dragon right now. They know that the bottom lane has just head back to base, but deciding that they don't want to go for that one right now. A nice stun actually comes out from Thaldrun, just purely predicting that Froggen was there.
But the Arcano Pulse was a pixel off to the side. That was unfortunate.
Oh, we do see Froggen going to be throwing out so much damage. He's forced to stay in this ultimate for so long, and Froggen, this is why this guy is so good at Anivia. Just look at that.
That was perfectly played. Sidestepping the stun, placing the wall in the most opportune of places, landing his own stun, dodging away from everything. Froggen is playing some gorgeous Anivia today.
He's a monster on that champion, truly is. Going to be heading towards that Athena's Unholy Grail, and actually he could be in trouble. The Winter's Bite is going to land onto a minion. Is that going to stop him, though? No, Kanani goes down as the first one of the fight. Obvious doesn't have any mana, though, and Gilius is looking to try and get a counter kill in this engage. The Chilling Smite is going to be there. Gilius picks that one up with just 20 or so auto attacks, and then he's going to be able to
hit him with your belly enough.
Oh, does manage to body slam away, but a nice death sentence comes out from White Knight. He goes down. Perks picks up yet another kill. 4-1-1 on that Lucian right now.
This is starting to get a little bit out of hand for Blue Team. They are down by 5 kills and about 2,000 gold. Not an insurmountable lead, but the kills are all in the right places for Red. They've got 4 kills on their AD carry, as you mentioned. And that Sejuani is starting to become way too tanky of a menace to really be dealt with.
Absolutely, and I mean, Jinx is a champion that is good at dealing with tanks later on, but you have to get to that later stage first. But Thaldrun, it's not looking like you're getting to a later stage right now as he goes down. Perks picking up his 5th kill of the game. Chewed Up using that death rocket, but nobody getting quite low enough. White Knight nearly went down to it, but just not quite.
I mean, Perks did get the kill, but White Knight played that amazingly. He dodged out from nearly every skill shot. He bought time. He knew exactly the limits of his champion. And Kanani is not showing us that he's quite as competent on the Braum.
Yeah, and Krumel could be in trouble as Kamani heads up into that top lane. It is going to be a 2v2 there, and Perks actually could be in trouble in this mid lane. Gilius is looking for the 1v1, and so far he's winning it, but he's out of cooldown, so he has to back away. The culling coming through. Is he going to be able to finish off Gilius? No, he steps under the tower, though. Has to use his heal. So close. Gilius has his ultimate. It's not enough damage, though. He's not AP, but the right to the arcane from Thaldrun picks up the kill in the end, and it took a lot of them. It took a lot of effort, but they finally did.
That was the messiest fight I have ever seen. Just nobody landing anything that they needed to. Turret shots taken when they didn't have to be. White Knight coming in from the side looking to follow up.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at that wall. Thaldron in so much trouble right now. He goes down. Obvious picks that one up. Kanani going to be running up towards this top lane to try and escape. Obvious going to be looking to try and chase it, but don't think they're going to get the opportunity. Froggen may have overextended for this one as Aaron's going to close in behind him, but the rest of his team is here to steal the blue buff anyway, so he's going to be perfectly fine, and he's actually going to go aggressive onto this Aatrox. Has to use his jump away. Could be in a lot of trouble right now, though. The Flay goes down. There's the Ignite as well. The minion does get caught by the death sentence, but that's going to half the cooldown as well. Ignite ticking away. He goes down. Tides of Blood picks that one up, but now let's see who gets the killing blow. It is going to be Cruamol that picks that one up in the end and chewed up in a 1v1 in the bottom lane against Perks. A nice death rocket. Can he get it? No. One more auto attack would have done it, but he ends up going down.
Even without being able to sidestep the rocket, Perks still comes out victorious in that 1v1. That is a huge lead that he has right now. Props to Chewed Up for being able to even get him that low, honestly. He's down by nearly a full completed item, and he's still nearly able to 1v1 the enemy AD carry. That's the best sign that we can really hope for here. Perhaps Chewed Up is going to be able to come back and put this team on his back and make something happen.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, obviously Jinx is a really late game AD carry. Like, as a champion, that's just a fact. Yeah. You are a late game carry, but when you're against a Lucian that's got 6 kills this early on in the game, you're going to be struggling to 1v1 him. So as you say, like, the fact that he's able to do that speaks volumes, but Perks in so much trouble right
Perks.
now. Right, the Arcane comes through, but he actually does it to himself as Froggen picks Iconic. A little bit of a misplay there by Thaldron. Not really sure what happened there, but the Winter's Bite is going to land onto White Knight. The Rupture goes down onto them. Froggen going to be the first one to fall, but Egg is available as Chewed Up flashing over the wall. He is going to be able to survive until Obvious throws out his ultimate. Froggen does go down eventually, though, as Obvious and Gilius pick up those 2 kills. I nearly said Max Law for Gilius just because he's a UK player that always plays Gragas, and I mean, like, Gragas is Max Law mode now. You're
stuck in your tiny little island, man. You have to expand. Yeah. You've got whole continents beneath you.
Hashtag UK esports. But the dragon has respawned now, and the red team should be in a pretty commanding position to take this one.
Yeah, if Lucian can get there in time to contest it, but it looks like blue is not making any sort of steps in that direction, but then again, neither is red. Both teams have not really given much priority to this first dragon.
Yeah, I don't really get why red haven't. I feel like they with their AD carry this far ahead, you can afford to just go for that early team fight. Actually, a nice denial of the culling by Thaldron, getting a decent amount of harass down. Perks nearly going for the dive, but he could be in a lot of trouble as Aaron comes in. Perks being so over-aggressive. That's twice that we've seen that happen now.
Yeah, last time he got out by the skin of his teeth, but this time there was a bit more on his plate and he couldn't deal with it all. Here comes Froggen from the side.
Yeah, this could be a really bad fight for the blue team as 1 kill comes across onto the Vladimir. They managed to trade for their AD carry, but it's only a support, so not the greatest of trades for them, but it should be enough to secure them this dragon, as we do see that pinged out, but they decide that's not the objective they want to go for. They want to go for Gilius instead. Obvious going to be leading the charge, taking a lot of damage from Chewed Up, though. Does manage to take the Lantern to safety, but you're never safe from a Jinx rocket, as Aaron is going to be taken down by Froggen's Ignite. Traded again to Chewed Up, who picks up the double kill, though. White Knight now trying to escape from Gilius, who doesn't quite manage to body slam over the wall there.
Oh, that is the funniest animation to mess up. You just kind of throw your gut at the wall.
Yeah, sort of like rubs along the wall for a second there, but this is going to be a middle lane tower finally going down for the blue team as Gilius. A nice death sentence from White Knight does deny the body slam, but he's not, I'd say he's not going to be able to get away. Flashes over the wall nicely to dodge away from that zap and going to be able to escape. And this is what I was talking about White Knight. It's like every time you expect something to happen, he does the opposite and somehow makes a play.
Still, though, in terms of making a play, that was simply escaping from a situation in which the enemy team's going to take Dragon anyway. What was that hook?
Yeah,
that thing flew much farther than any hook that I throw in this game. But Chewed Up. Those 2 kills earlier, that double kill onto him, that is going to be really, really huge. That is exactly where blue team needed those kills. They are still a little bit in the hole here. But with that Dragon, with a few kills onto Chewed Up, they might have a way back into this game.
Oh, had that stun landed onto Perks, that could have been really good, but Thaldron is going to be going down. Obviously, not landing that stun really punished him as Kanani looking to try and escape, but he's not getting away from Froggen anytime soon. And that's 2 kills going across to the carries of the red team.
Just as I was saying, how the glimmer of hope is at the end of the tunnel, it begins to darken once again. Perks and Froggen doing their best to keep on pushing this early game lead that they've got.
Yeah, Gilius already finishing his Righteous Glory. Really early pickup for that item. Considering it's his 2nd item, that's really, really good for him. Also has his Merc Treads. So Gilius is doing a really good job to really keep up with Sejuani in regards to items. Only 500 gold ahead of that enemy jungler right now. And I feel like while the Warmogs obviously is a really, really good pickup, the Righteous Glory is going to do a lot more in terms of utility for his team, certainly.
Pushing in onto the inhibitor turrets here. They aren't able to get too much damage. The wave clear is there, and Gilius is going in.
A really nice Lantern, though, pulls Perks right back to the backline again as Kanani is going to be going down to that Hemo Plague. Really, really well played by White Knight there to save his AD carry, who did get caught up by that explosive cast from Gilius. Froggen getting taken quite low by Thaldron. The stun comes out onto Cumriel, but now Gilius manages to get a couple of knockups. There's the Death Rocket. There's the double kill for Tudup. He's looking for the triple onto Obvious. Should be able to get this one. That's the triple kill. Looking
Quadra!
for what actually? No, doesn't quite get it. Aaron picks up a double kill though. So between Aaron and Tudup, they get the pentakill, and they certainly get the clean ace.
This is the late game squad. This is blue team's ace in the hole if they can just play it. And this one team fight, they managed to pull it out. They had this sitting up their sleeve the whole time, and maybe they'll be able to turn it into a dragon. Baron, that's the big purple one.
Yeah. And Aaron actually going to be tanking this one up. Kamani is going to be heading over, and at this early stage of the game, only 22 minutes in, the Baron's only been up for 2 minutes right now, but between them, they should be able to juggle the aggro, and with the sustain that Aatrox has, they should be able to take this one down relatively easily, and nobody is going to be expecting this, so they're relatively safe in terms of not being checked out. White Knight has finally arrived, but he's just going to see that it's already gone down.
And this is one of the reasons why I do love Aatrox so much as a champion. He's finished off that Blaze of the Ruined King, he's building into some tanky items, and for the next 5 to 10 minutes, this game is going to be his if he plays it right. Aatrox is hitting a huge power spike right now. There are very few AD carries, very few mid laners that can seriously stand up in a 1v1 against him. And if he holds on to that pressure, if he uses it correctly, Chewed Up is going to be able to chew up the enemy team during a team fight.
He certainly is, and I mean, we've already seen that so far. That's one of the things about Chewed Up. His laning may not be incredible, but his team fighting certainly is. He's really proved that already this game. We'll have to see if he can continue to make that happen, and he's going to be hammering in onto this mid lane tier 2 tower. The culling going to be used, not too much effect as the Death Sentence lands. Brom gets burst down immediately, but the tower goes down. Look at the damage across onto White Knight. Picks up 1 kill. A nice ultimate from Sejuani, but there's just no follow-up to it, and it turns into a 1-for-1 support for support.
Brom, not really the best target to land those hooks on and burn all of that damage onto. During a quick and dirty team fight like that, you're only going to get 1 rotation off if you're Froggen. You're only going to get a few of your Tides of Blood spammed out, and you need to choose the right targets. It's a really, really difficult proposition to try and actually burn down a Braum that quickly and then still have the resources to deal with the rest of his team.
Yeah, absolutely, and Froggen could be in trouble right now as Gilius jumps forwards, but Perks is there. Look at the damage coming out from Perks as Gilius gonna narrowly escape with his life, but look at the damage from the zap. Right, the Arcane comes through. Is Froggen gonna be able to get away? No, another double kill comes through for Chewed Up. He's looking to join his team again right now as Crewemil, sorry. The I is in the wrong place to be a easily pronounceable name, but Chewed Up is an absolute monster this game. 8, 4, and 6 on that Jinx.
And that's the sort of pressure that I was talking about that Aaron is able to put out. He personally was able to zone away the backline of Red Team. He did burn his passive for it, but that's one of the things which makes this Aatrox so powerful for being that threat in these fights, because he can just jump at your face if his passive is up, if he has Blood Well available during a team fight. He is so sticky, so hard to remove, and he's still threatening enough that Perks has to deal with him.
Absolutely, and I mean, so far, Perks I've been sort of hit and miss with this game because I was really, really impressed by his laning. He was absolutely dominant in that early stage of the game, but team fighting wise so far, he's not really been stellar. He keeps on getting caught out of position and being really punished for that. I mean, went very, very deep onto Gilius while he didn't know where the rest of the team was, so a little bit over-aggressive from him.
You have to wonder how much of that laning phase was due to White Knight being able to land so many great hooks and the synergy between these two players. And now that it's... Ooh, actually, Froggen getting cast backwards.
Froggen in a lot of trouble. Can he pick up Chewed Up? Yes, he can. Froggen does not mess around.
The double buff egg is so scary that Gilius is going to walk away.
Yeah, Gilius is well aware that he cannot deal the damage that he needs to right there. And Aaron actually going very aggressive onto Cruamel right now in his own jungle, but Cruamel just does not have the sustain. There's the ultimate from Sejuani though, obvious, trying to save his allied Vladimir. Is he going to be able to do it? The Zhonya's comes out, and yes, Aaron is going to be going down. Now we see Perks in a bit of a tussle here. He goes down to Xerath. Thaldrun picking up that kill comfortably as White Knight gets taken incredibly low. Thaldrun looking for his second kill of the fight. Gets the stun down onto Froggen. Froggen gonna have to fly away from this on the right of the arcane coming through. Is it gonna land? Last one? No, doesn't quite land. As the Winter's Bite comes through.
Oh, bro, no.
Connect. The flash gonna be wasted as Obvious comes in behind Thaldrun. The damage is not gonna be there as White Knight flashes away. And beautiful play from the red team there.
Yeah, and they might be able to pull themselves back into the driver's seat off of that one. They can go ahead and take a dragon, their first of the game as well. We're 26.5 minutes into this one, and this is only the second dragon to ever be targeted. White Knight and Diaby is not exactly the highest damage duo, but I think they might be able to take it down just in time. Ooh, the blue trigger does spot them.
Yeah, they are going to be able to get that one. Luckily, only just Chewed Up didn't have his ultimate available. Had he had it, I'm sure he would have gone for that one, but deciding to obviously not wanting to go for that 2v1 contest. He is going to be able to take away this bottom tier 1 tower, sorry, to sort of pay for that dragon, so they're not going to be too upset by that one. And looking at the gold, 27 minutes into the game, we're still only 2,000 gold difference between these teams.
Yeah, and with this much gold on the table, that's not a huge lead. That would have been quite a big lead, quite a nice, comfortable one, were this 7 to 10 minutes into the game. But at 27, nearing 30 minutes into the match, 2,000 gold isn't enough to be decisive, and Red Team is really vying for control at this point.
Absolutely, and White Knight taking a huge amount of damage from Thaldrun right there. Really nice little combo coming out from him. Has his Sorcerer's Potion as well. Sorcerer's Elixir, I believe it's called. I can't remember.
I believe it is.
Elixir of Sorcery, okay, so. But yeah, has his Death Cap, has his Athenes, but he goes down. Doesn't matter how much damage he has, but Perks could be going down as well. He's on very little HP, but Obvious is in a 1v2 that he does not want to be in as Chewed Up picks up his first kill of the game. Froggen in a really bad situation as well. Chewed Up picking up yet another double kill as Perks in so much trouble right now. He's going to be going down. Aaron picks that one up, and that is a 3-for-1 in favor of the blue team as they head on towards this inhibitor again. Oh, the inhibitor's already down. They may even be able to end.
This might very well be the end of the game right here. Crumiel is doing his best to try and hold them off.
He absolutely is. White Knight is going to be the focus target right now as he goes down. Chewed Up picking up yet another kill. The Winter's Bite passive is going to be there. The passive is not called Winter's Bite. It's called Concussive Blows, I believe. But that is going to be Vladimir narrowly escaping. 5 seconds until Obvious is alive. He's the next one that's going to come up, but I don't know if he's going to be able to defend this one with just himself and Vladimir. That's going to be the last Nexus Tower going down as Chewed Up is hammering away onto this Nexus. Obvious flashing forwards to try and finish off the AD carry. It's not going to be enough, though, and Chewed Up secures himself the victory.
Wonderfully played, Jinx. The laning phase, as you said, was a little bit rocky, but we got into it later on, and that's going to close out the game. That's going to close out this episode of Duocasts. Thank you for coming along, Munch. Any last words?
No, not really. Thank you for having me.
Sounds like I'm going to do more than just end the video by saying any last words. I didn't mean it quite that direly, but
please no.
Once again, thank you all for watching. My name is Octavian. I'm alongside Munch. You can find a link to his Twitter and his YouTube in the description of the video below. And I'll see you guys next time.